The Madman! Welcome to Mage, a class that got a mechanic pushed on them which currently seems to be weak. Let's start with Shooting Star. 1 star. Right. At the baseline, it's 1 mana, deal 3 damage, kind of. Which isn't bad by itself, but there are very few decks out there right now where you need to have this 1 mana whirlwind type effect. Big Spell Mage isn't going to use it because it's not a big spell. Tempo Mage isn't going to use it because they don't want to control the board like this. So for that reason, Shooting Star is trying to go into some sort of control mage, which is not Big Spell Mage, and that's where the spell damage theme comes in. But spell damage mage is just not quite going to work, I would say. The payoff is too small. The payoff of getting +2 spell damage on this is, okay, great. So you manage to deal 3 damage to 3 opponents' minions, but Big Spell Mage does it better with Dragon's Fury. And are you going to be playing some sort of tempo control mage then? No, you should just go full tempo and kill the opponent. So the enabler to Shooting Star is Celestial Emissary. 1 star, by the way. Celestial Emissary is here to specifically boost up the power of Shooting Star, low cost AoE, ideally. So Shooting Star and Arcane Explosion, as well as unexpected results, which I'll cover in a bit. But the main problem is this setup costs too much for what you get. If you're trying to boost small AoE into big AoE, I feel like you would just be better served by playing Big Spell Mage. Research Project, 1 star. Some people point towards Cold Light Oracle and its previous play as evidence that Research Project might work well. But here's the thing about Cold Light Oracle. It was played in an era where Mage had Ice Block. And with Ice Block, the cards that your opponent got would not be very useful because they couldn't kill you. So therefore, the cards that Research Project are gonna give your opponent will generally help them in some way. And that's just not worth the 1 mana discount on Arcane Intellect. The way that you could theoretically think of this as beneficial is you're playing a Tempo Mage deck and you're trying to be really aggressive and you're trying to burn them down before they can use the cards to defend. But in that case, you already have so many card draw tools between Aluneth and Arcane Intellect and Stargazer Luna, which I think are just better. Astral Rift, 1 star. 2 mana to add 2 less than good cards in to your hand has been experimented with a few times right now, and most of the time the answer has been that's not quite good enough. 2 random minions is going to be one of the cases where it's not good enough. This card also seems to fit a Value Mage kind of deck, and Value Mage does not exist in the meta and is not going to enter the meta because of Astral Rift. It's not good enough to push that archetype. Stargazer Luna, 3 stars. Very simple in that I think Tempo Mage is going to be a tier 3 deck in the upcoming set block. And I think that Tempo Mages will run Stargazer Luna. Fantastic card in that deck. Doesn't define the deck, but just a very good addition to it. She's a discount on Gnomish Inventor. Most decks would play a 3 mana 2/4 that draws you a card. And especially in Tempo Mage with so many low-cost spells, Luna has the potential to draw you quite a bit, especially if you try to hold on to her as late as possible and keep a relatively low-cost spell on the right side of your hand. Cosmic Anomaly, 1 star. I have to applaud the Hearthstone team for really pushing the spell damage thing, because seriously, Cosmic Anomaly is a pretty scary card to print. That is a lot of spell damage on a low-cost card with decent stats. But such a card truly lets us back away for a moment, and realize, you know what, spell damage is not actually that good. The only reason why the Evolved Cobalt saw play is because low-cost spells dealt direct damage, which is to say that Ice Lance existed. And given that Mage does not have cheap spells that can deal damage to the face, Cosmic Anomaly will not see play. Cosmic Anomaly's purpose right now appears to be with Shooting Star, which is a low-cost AoE, and that looks like it could have some success, but I see very little chance that a mid-range Mage deck that tries to control the board will be successful. And sure, Cosmic Anomaly, as well as Celestial Emissary, seem to be building up towards this card, Unexpected Results. 1 star. Cosmic Anomaly Unexpected Results is an 8 mana combo in order to summon a 4/3 in Cosmic Anomaly as well as 2 random 4-drops. That's not worth it for the payoff. or to use Celestial Emissary plus Unexpected Results in order to summon the 2/1 as well as 2 random 4-drops. Not good enough. That also kind of leans towards a Value Mage, but Value Mage is really bad in the upcoming meta. Big Hand Mage is going to be a Value Mage, and Meteorologist rewards having those cards. Meteorologist 1-star card, by the way. Because the payoff for having a value hand in this case is just being able to cast Avenging Wrath and have a 3/3 attached to it. And that's not compelling enough to build the Value Mage deck. And I actually didn't even talk about why Value Mage is bad. So fundamentally, Value Mage is going to lose out to Control Mages because Control Mages will outvalue Value Mages. Like, there's this level of Value Mage and there's Control Mage, which outvalues the value deck, basically. On top of that, Value Mages don't have very much aggression, so they lose to all the combo decks, and there are quite a few combo decks that can happen. And if you were hoping to stay alive against aggro, it seems like the Big Spell Mage is going to be better. You could say this could fit into Big Spell Mage. Big Spell Mage also has a hand. They don't want this minion that deals random damage to random enemies, because random enemies could include the enemy's face, and Control Mages don't want to deal damage to the face, they just win eventually. Same goes for Astromancer. The reason why Big Spell Mage doesn't run Spiteful Summoner in their deck, which is also 7 mana, is that it just doesn't work in the Control Spell Mage. Those decks really cut down their minions because they're just looking to control the field with spells and AoE effects. Your minions are generally kind of like pointless. So that's why Astromancer is 1-star. Finally, we have the Mage legendary spell, Luna's Pocket Galaxy. 1-star. It requires way too much setup. It requires some luck that the big minions in your deck aren't drawn before you draw Luna's Pocket Galaxy. This is for some sort of Value Mage deck also, which runs minions, and I just don't see Luna's Pocket Galaxy, a one-of spell, enabling such a value minion deck to work. There are some ideas that you can use Raven to draw the Galaxy from your deck, because it's probably a big spell, and that you can Primordial Glyph the Galaxy, in which case, yeah, sure, I could see Galaxy being played potentially that way. But the amount of decks out there that have enough minions that you want the Galaxy to trigger early enough, it's like questionable. So really cool effect, but given that's very inconsistent when you're going to draw the Galaxy, you might end up not reducing very many minions at all, and given the past history that Quest Druid did not really work out, and Quest Druid always started off with Barnabas, which also came with an 8/8, along with, you know, the ability to change the cost of minions in your deck to 1, it just does not look like this Galaxy card is going to work out. So at the end of the day, when we look at the 1-star board, which is Mage, it looks like they got this spell damage theme pushed onto them pretty hard, and I just think that none of it is going to work out. The only card that we're going to see enter play is Stargazer Luna into Tempo Mage, I predict.